Season, I was in practice. I was playing defensive end. Pulling tackle came around, slammed me. Another concussion. Did the same thing. Finished out the season. Same symptoms, headaches, couldn't sleep, trouble in school. Actually, if you look at my report card from high school, in the fall I tend to get C's. In the spring I tend to get A's. It was a really weird, kind of pattern, which, looking at it now kind of makes sense. Anyway, I finished up the season, took a rest. Before my senior year, I've been being recruited for football. I talked to a lot of schools. I talked to UConn, Boston College, a couple Ivy League schools, and I ended up committing to play at Yale, which was awesome for me. It was close to home. I was going to play, Division I football, and I love football, so I just wanted to keep playing. I got there, and actually, the chief of medicine at Yale saw that I had a lot of concussions on my record, and sent me aside and talked to me about, reporting concussions when they happen, and staying healthy. And I said, all right, I got it. About a week or two into preseason, I was doing a drill that I'd done 100 times in high school, and I guess I just wasn't used to the speed of these 22-year-old, 250-pound guys running at me, and I lowered my helmet, took a helmet hit. The concussion didn't seem, I knew right away. Yeah, go ahead.
My coach last year, he told me that never lower your head when
Never.
coming at you.
I wish I knew that sooner. That is the number one
Especially
rule.
when you have a board trying to get what you're trying to tackle.
If you're trying to tackle, let me tell you right now, if you're trying to tackle anything, never lower your head. Yeah?
But don't you have those little padded things in there?
They don't do much because you still get, you have pads in there, but if you take two really hard, running at your head, it's going to jog your brain a bit, and that's the issue. Anyway, really big guy, I lowered my head. He was 22, he was like 250, 260 pounds, running full speed. Really bad idea, don't do that. I knew right away concussion, but it didn't seem that serious, so I finished up practice. This time I actually decided to report it because I figured, all right, it's my first couple weeks here, let me just get it fixed up and I'll be playing in no time. So I started to rest. I did all the right things to heal. And a couple days in, about a week in, something weird happened that hadn't happened before. I started having memory lapses. I'd get up off the couch to get a Gatorade, and I wouldn't know why I was getting off the couch. When I started classes, I would try and take notes, but I wouldn't actually be able to remember the information long enough to take notes. It would go in one ear and out the other. I really couldn't, I got really scared. So I went to the trainer's office, I told her what was going on, she said, all right, you really got to shut down. They tried to convince me to take a semester off, but I really didn't want to. I was really happy to be there, and I convinced them I was good enough to stay. Over the next couple of weeks, all the symptoms continued. The headache stopped, but my memory was not where it was, or where it should have been. My concentration was off. We started taking the impact tests. They're actually called head monitors up there, but I went from being the 70th or 80th percentile to my reaction was fine, but my short-term memory and long-term memory were both in the 2nd or 3rd percentile. We took these every 2 weeks through December, and they never got better. From around early November, the trainer told me that I was going to have to quit football, which was awful. I wasn't very receptive to the idea. I called up my high school coach. I was going to transfer, play somewhere else where they let me play. Any school would be fine with me. I just really wanted to get back on the field. I worked too hard to get there, and I wasn't going to give it up now. Luckily, he was able to convince me otherwise, and eventually, after seeing that these symptoms were not going away, I decided to quit. Unfortunately, the loss of football and the chemical composition of your brain changing when you get a concussion, and being in a new place, got really depressed because my life for the past 10 years had pretty much revolved around football, and going to practice and going to games, and it was gone, and that was it. A huge blow to me, and it took a long time for me to recover kind of emotionally to get back to a place where I was waking up happy again, which was really awful for my first semester in college. Like I said, we kept taking these impact tests and they didn't improve, so we stopped taking them. At this point, I still have memory issues. I have to take ADD medication to concentrate in class. I have a note taker at school because I can't take my own notes. I have to get extra time on tests. So Luke reported his concussions, and it took a long time, but he's okay now. He can play some sports. My kind of message is this is what happens if you don't report them. You might get lucky a couple times, but all my symptoms caught up to me, and this is where I am. So that's about it. Thank you.
You guys were asking about the helmets and the pads and stuff. So here's one helmet. Here's this helmet. Anybody know who's wore these helmets? Yeah.
Trojans?
Yeah, Romans, Trojans, Greeks. Okay. Technology about 1,000 years ago. Technology about 5 years ago. Which one is safer for concussion? No. There is no helmet that can protect you from a concussion. Okay, if I have a spear, you want one of these on. It doesn't really matter. If I have a spear and I'm about to smack into you and you want to keep your skull in the bone in one position, you definitely want a helmet. Helmets are very good. When you're riding a bike and you hit the pavement, you want a helmet on. But the thing about it is inside, this is my brain. This is not exactly to scale, but see the little floaty thing?
Yeah.
The floaty thing, that's your brain. You see the water?
Yeah.
That's the fluid in your brain. See the outside?